Clark Kellogg is there to observe and then tell us what he observed. He's CBS Sports college basketball analyst and the former first-round pick by the Pacers. Special K, good to talk to you again. Where do you want to start? What's the game that we should be talking about the result today?
Well, it'd be hard not to talk about the Alabama game if you're looking at what they did last night as far as a record-setting performance from behind the three-point line. That was remarkable. And Duke, again, Cooper Flagg has been as advertised all season long. He's a remarkable two-way player, and what he does at both ends of the floor with a moxie and a maturity and a joy that is hard to compare to for a first-year guy in recent memory.
But we love these player comps. So yeah. I don't know if you delve into this, but if you were going to do a player comp for Cooper Flagg, 18-year-old Cooper Flagg, who would your player comp be?
Man, I don't know if I have one, Dan. I try to avoid that just because it's pressurizing and not always fair to either party. So I'll reserve judgment on that one because I really don't have anybody in mind.
What about style, though? The style of play?
And that's a great question. I would need to give it some more thought. I love his athleticism, his tenacity, and I mentioned this joy and exuberance that he plays with. That's special. I mean, you can tell that he loves to play. He loves being on the floor. He loves being part of a team. And he's growing into allowing his talent to give him the permission to stand up and stand out. And that's a process.
I just worry because we like to go from 0 to 60. So Cooper Flagg is the next Larry Bird.
Yeah.
Well, he's not. That's not fair. I said if he has the career that Kevin Love has had, that would be a good career.
Yeah.
But he reminds me a little bit of Kevin Durant. I think that he can get that mid-range, like he likes contact, variety of shots, inside, outside. And so I see a little bit of Kevin Durant style-wise in his game.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. I mean, similar builds, similar explosiveness. KD was such a remarkable shot maker, even at an early age, and he only refined it as he became a Hall of Fame pro. I don't see Cooper shooting it quite as well right now at this stage, but I could see where that comparison would come to mind. Again, similar builds, the same kind of exuberance. KD plays with that same type of reckless, abandoned kind of joy. I'm lost in the game. Nothing else matters. And you love seeing that in players that have the skill set that Cooper Flagg has. I mean, he made some passes last that were absolutely, I mean, that's another level. When you see a guy see a frame ahead or a frame and a half ahead and make plays on the move at his size, that's another degree of specialness in my mind.
Is the tournament better when we hate Duke? Because this is a team that people don't hate this team. I mean, this is just a great team, but there's no villain on there.
Dan, you know I love whatever the tournament gives us every year. And that's the beautiful thing about this 3 weeks. Whatever your particular flavor of choice is, if you need a villain, if you need a dominant team, if you want Cinderellas, you're going to find what you want. And even if you don't in a given year, it still is going to deliver and captivate. It's just the magic and nature of a 3-week, one and done run to a championship from 68 teams to one shining moment. And on that journey, there's going to be something that surprises you, and a lot of it is going to move you and captivate you, even if you're not a Rabbit fan.
Wait, did CBS write that for you? That sounds like a promotional, like a commercial.
No, I do my own writing.
Okay.
I do my own writing.
Clark Kellogg, CBS Sports college basketball analyst. Did Arkansas have a great year this year?
I think they had a really good second half of the season and a remarkable tournament run. I think you can separate regular season was turbulent and bumpy and disjointed, but Cal thrives in that type of environment. I thought he did it when he was the first to really embrace the one and done era. And he may have been the only coach who could have successfully embraced that 8, 9, 10-year period where he was resetting his roster every year and still competing at a high level. And he had a team this year that went through some difficulty from a personnel standpoint, injury, guys establishing roles, and then had them playing at a high level. They're a basket away from still being alive in the tournament. So I think a remarkable tournament run and a really good second half of the year where the Hawks found themselves and played some really good basketball.
Aside from Duke, most of these teams aren't relying on freshmen.
Correct.
There's been and I don't know if it's temporary, but there has been a shift in bringing in the players who have experience.
Yeah.
Feels like that's the model, and I've been saying that Calipari needed to do that at Kentucky. You're getting all these guys, but they're there for 6 months. The guys you're losing to are players who have been there for 2 and 3 years. Getting like some kind of happy medium there, and I don't know if that's the new philosophy in college basketball.
Well, I think when you're talking about sustainable success, I think continuity is important, Dan. Whatever business you're in, leadership continuity, roster continuity, personnel continuity, it's significantly important to sustainable success. You can get flash in the pan success doing it the other way, but you've got to have a blend of continuity. And you're right, because of the landscape, NIL, the transfer portal, there are far more older teams in the country. And I thought there was a chance we might not see any 1 seeds in the Final Four about 6, 7, 8 weeks ago because the quality of teams across the country, I thought had really been elevated because of what you just said in terms of teams being older, the extra COVID year, the freedom of the transfer portal, and a number of rosters were being constituted through a little bit of recruiting and retention and a lot of adding more experienced, talented, older players.
You played against Larry and Magic.
Yeah.
And Michael?
Yeah, he came in 2 years. He came in with Barkley, so they were 2 years after I got drafted.
Okay. Tougher to guard.
Well, my goodness. I didn't have to guard any of those guys. I did guard Bird a little bit, and he was a handful because he was so much stronger than he appeared, and he was such a great competitor and player. Michael obviously was another level at his position and in the game. Guys that gave me the greatest challenge, the guy who I didn't like to see at all was Bernard King. He was with the Knicks at the time, and he was salivating the whole game for opportunities to give you the business. I'm not just going through the motions, salivating to give you the business. So he was a hard cover. His intensity, his quickness, his shot-making ability, and the fact that they ran an awful lot of the offense. Hubie Brown was coaching at the time, and Bernard got touches probably 60% of the time they had the ball.
Well, if not for that knee injury, I mean, Bernard was buckets, man. He was,
man, big time. Big time.
Yeah, and he was 6'6", but he'd take you down on the blocks, and
yes.
he was gonna come. He'd rise up on you.
Yeah, he's cooking. Yeah, he had the quick release, and he had an array of moves. But the quickness of his jump and release is really what allowed him to do such damage against bigger guys with his back to the goal.
Your favorite Charles Barkley story is what?
I actually got the better of Charles, and he'll probably tell you this. There were 3 guys he kind of looked at as he was thinking about being a pro and kind of pattern his game after, and it was Adrian Dantley, John Drew, and me. And my first meeting with Charles, I got the best of him. And he told me afterwards that he was maybe just a tad in awe because I was kind of a guy he had looked up to. But we unfortunately had to play them within a matter of a week or two of me getting the best of him the prior meeting. And the second meeting, he came at me like he wanted to kill me. I mean, he was coming hard into my body, reckless, and actually got the better of me in that second meeting. I don't know if he'll recall it quite the way I do, but when you're on the receiving end of his force and physicality, it has a tendency to stay on your hard drive for a long time.
Give me the surprise tonight of the games.
The surprise?
Yeah.
Wow. Man, we got Houston, Purdue, Kentucky, Tennessee. I tell you, Michigan's an interesting team to me in that Auburn matchup. Auburn's been really good. 6 guys have averaged double digits in the tournament. They've been the best and most consistent team all season, but I sense there might be a little bit out of kilter there. The 2 big guys, that would be the surprise of the games that I'm looking at. If Michigan takes care of the ball, if they can squeeze that orange, and they've done it pretty well, only 23 turnovers in the first 2 tournament games. They had averaged 13 or 14 a game during the regular season. They take care of the ball and get good guard play. I think they might be able to pull a surprise. And part of that is to jab Charles, too. You know, he'll be on pins and needles. He'll be on pins and needles watching this one tonight with his beloved alma mater. So, I'm taking a jab at him, but also, even though I'm a Buckeye, I do like to see the Big Ten succeed in these postseason tournaments. So I'm leaning at that one as a potential surprise.
Yeah, I'm with you on that because you got 2 7-footers for Michigan. Not something we normally see in college basketball, but Michigan kind of sneaky good this year. But hey, it's great to catch up with you as always. And
likewise.
Thanks for joining. Great job. It's like you're cleaning up after the elephant in the circus.
That's a little strong, Dan.
Well, when you're there with Charles and you're not quite sure if he's watching the game or watching the game he's supposed to be watching, and then all of a sudden Ernie has to go to you, and it's like, Clark, and then you'll break down what you saw in the first half.
Good stuff, man. Great to be with you. Always a pleasure. Enjoy your time with Charles, too. It'll be fun.
Thank you, Clark. That's Clark Kellogg, CBS Sports college basketball analyst.